I appreciate Sarah asking me to serve on the panel. My mind immediately went to a story. It was a story of my 12th year. It was the summer of my 12th year, and I was a complainer. I was complaining about stuff. I grew up in Iowa on a farm, and we didn't have a whole lot. So I was always complaining about not having enough, my friends in school having better clothes than I did, their dads having better jobs than my dad, who had his hands in the dirt all the time. Their dads were farmers, or their dads were doctors and lawyers, and mine was a farmer, so I was complaining. In the summer of my 12th year, we traveled as a family in the old Phelan 500 Ford, driving up, all but my sisters and I in the back seat, no air conditioning, driving out, hot summer day, up to Itasca, Minnesota, to Itasca State Park, which were the headwaters of Mississippi. Great places I remember. But this story doesn't end there. It ends in a gift shop. And in that gift shop we went in there, we didn't have money to buy anything, and I was complaining about that. And I went in and I noticed that my mother did buy something. It was on parchment paper, and she took that with her. And we went back home. We traveled all the way back to Iowa. And I noticed her taking this piece of parchment paper, and she was kind of burning the edges of it. That was a strange story. I just talked to Mom. I said, Mom, what are you doing? She said, well, it said on the bottom, this was found in 1692, and so I'm burning the edges to make it look like it's really, really old. And her intention was to frame it and put it on the wall. And on the wall in the living room were 4 pictures, my sisters and I. You know, the ones where you go into school that day, you don't have your hair combed, your clothes aren't right, they take a picture anyway. You know, your parents give it out to all your grandparents, that one. Those 4 pictures on the wall, my sisters and I. And she put it in the center, and I said, Mom, what is that? And she said, it's the Desiderata. And I said, the Desiderata? She said, the Desiderata. And she said, you need to read it. And so I did. I read it. That is the day that I met humility. Up until that point, I did not know it. There were phrases in the Desiderata that caught my attention. One was about comparing yourself to someone else. And that when you do that, you'll only become vain and bitter because there are people who are greater or lesser than yourself. That was a concept I hadn't thought about before. It also occurred to me that there was other aspects to the Desiderata that I had not thought about. Thankfulness, trust, gratitude. It occurred to me in the summer of my 12th year that humility was only possible if you had a grateful heart. My grandmother had been telling me for years, be grateful for the food you have on the table, be grateful for the clothes you have on the back. But it wasn't until I read this and my mom said that this was so important, so much of a driving force when she read it, she wanted us to always see it. She wanted it to be our compass of our life, and that's why she put it in the center of the wall with the 4 pictures of my sisters. Let your eyes read over that. Just read those words, and in it you'll find the call to be the best version of yourself. Being the best version of yourself means you're not all that. It means that you got to where you are, as Morris Massey says, you are at this particular moment the summation of all of your life's experiences. All the good, all the bad. Who are you today? Who are you? And how did you come to be here? Who sacrificed for you? I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that nobody gets anywhere, even in this moment in time, all on your own steam. You just don't. Life doesn't work that way. We need one another. So the moment that you realize that you need other people, humility is not far behind. You become grateful for the friendships. You become grateful for the opportunity to spend with somebody else. You become grateful for the education, the sacrifice that other people have made on your behalf. If you embrace gratitude and have a sense of thankfulness for that which you have, humility is its companion. That was the moment, that was the summer that I learned about gratitude and about humility. And it has guided me ever since. This is available on the internet. It's found with the Desiderata. Thanks for your time.